Well, I'm here helping Brett this morning. We're moving the goats from that pasture where they are to this pasture, and Brett is off right now checking the fence. He forgot to check the fence and a gate maybe. Are you ready to move? Oh, are you ready to go? So he needed my help this morning because they are at the peak of having all their little babies. So we're gonna be sweeping the pasture, making sure that we get all the kids brought over. And yeah, there's probably gonna be a whole lot of babies, whole lot of baby action. Which this is my favorite time to help because that means I get to handle a lot of babies. But I hope I don't see any that I think I need to bring home because I really don't want to have to bottle and take care of babies right now. So keep your fingers crossed for me. I want to hope for the best. All the babies need to get up and get moving, follow their mamas. I see a lot of adults coming with no babies following them. So.
Whenever you start seeing them drop kids, it's exciting. But I get a little anxious because I see all these kids and I'm like, oh no, you know, what, how in the world are we going to keep up with them? Well, you know, that's not our job as far as the way we're doing it. We'll do our best if we have to. You've seen us try to, you know, if for some reason we find one that looks like the mama's already gone, we'll try to get them to the gate and leave them at the gate. But you know, ultimately it's the mama's responsibility. I tell you, the dogs are doing great. You know, we've got the 3 new ones, and invariably I'll come down here and they're standing right by a nanny that's had them or is having them, or they think is fixing to have them. They're just protectors. They're doing exactly what they were created to do, in my opinion. So let the games begin.
Bedded down under trees. There's one. There's one. There's 3 over there. There's a couple over there. Not only do we have to be careful not to run over them, we have to find them all and collect them because their mamas are not calling them. They're not taking them with them. They're telling them to stay put, apparently. See, here's one looking for its mama. We just have to really watch, not run over anybody, make sure we collect everybody, and we'll put them in the back of my 4-wheeler in this crate. So you see, here's a baby. His mama told him to lay there and be still. And that baby will lay there and be still and let us run over it. So we just have to be so careful. Not only to not run over them, but to make sure we come back and pick them all up, get them all moved so they can reconnect with their mamas. And in the meantime, these new dogs, we're not sure how they're going to react if we pick up babies and they start hollering. Sometimes the dogs will come running at us to find out what's going on, so we'll have to really watch that too. Are you ready?
I've been ready. I'm trying.
Well, you've been moving, touching fences and doing stuff.
No, I've been ready. I've been hollering. You hear me hollering on that video?
I hear you hollering.
Okay.
Not at me.
I'm gonna go get some corn.
Oh.
They're not paying attention one bit. I mean, they're going that way. We either got to do that or we got to go all the way around to the back and get behind them and try to drive them.
Well, so if you get corn and start hollering with corn and I get in the back, you want to do that?
I don't.
Or do you want to, what do you want to do?
I think we maybe just go start driving them.
Okay, let's go.
And see what that does.
This is going to be hard.
That's the understatement of the decade.
Oh, yeah. So I was on my way to pick up that baby that was under a tree, just laying there. And all these goats started coming through the brush. And there's its mama. So she came back for it. Yeah, is she gonna? Yep, there she goes. I was going to get that one. And then Brett was going to get those 2 little brown ones that are laying in the road. I don't know if the camera can see that far. No mama has come for them. So we're probably still going to pick those up. Some of the babies look older than others. So like there's one right there that it's bigger. I don't know how old it is, but it's not a completely newborn. So it can definitely make the trip, and it's awake and aware. That might be its mama standing there by it. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's its mama. We'll see. We're still taking those two brown ones.
There's two down there on down the road by themselves, pretty new.
I see those.
That have their mama is somewhere around there.
Mule, this is gonna take all day.
That's what I was
Probably
telling
2
you.
days.
Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? No, thank you. There you go.
Those are pretty big.
Yeah, their mama's around here. She's just eating. I told Lisa that when I come over here and drive through these things right now, because they're kind of in the peak of dropping them, I get sick at my stomach. It's anxious. I shouldn't be anxious because I'm tickled that we have so many babies, but I knew this day was coming, and I knew how important it was for us to move them and still maintain our parasite control. So we just got to get it done. And like Lisa said, it's going to take us 2 or 3 days probably to get this done. And by that time, who knows, we may be having to move to the next pasture.
Still, for the first time ever, it's warm. It's going to be 80, almost 90 degrees today. Normally it's freezing. There have been days that it's been snowing when we do this. So that's a bonus, right?
Okay.
Baby. Baby. Baby, baby. Mama taking her baby. Look at that one. Up, up. Up, up. There you go. There's some mamas coming back and collecting their babies. See, all the babies have gotten up now.
Well, we're getting close to where we've done all we can do today. We think we got 99.9% of the babies and the mamas as soon as we get these through. It has been a very difficult first move, which we anticipated. That's why I was feeling so anxious. We're hauling babies and driving nannies, and I mean everything we have to do. We're doing whatever we have to do to try to get them all in the next pasture and get them out of here. This is the biggest pasture we've ever kidded the first week in, and so it's a little difficult. Hup. It's very hard to drive them when the babies are brand new. I mean, they just don't want to move, and the nannies don't want to leave them, which is good. And
So the only solution we can come up with is we got to just grab the babies, haul them, and drive the nannies. Because you can't drive both of them. It's just like driving water. It's just unbelievable. But I think the only thing we've left back is I had one nanny that was trying to have babies, and so I left her because I didn't want to drive her this whole way and make her hold off having them and cause them to, you know, have an issue. So hopefully she's dropped them, and then hopefully she'll come this way, but I doubt it. I'm going to try and get one of the dogs to stay back over here just in case, but that's going to be hard too. Lisa, wait! Don't get ahead of her. Just wait up. Let me get her to go that way. This is that one that's been bothering me the whole time. There you go. Hey, don't get ahead of her. If you see her bucking me, back up. Well, the first move is in the books for this year, 2024, if I'm looking back over these videos years from now. It was difficult. It was difficult. A lot of things were taking place that put us in a real bad position to make this move. One of the biggest things was that it goes back to the drought, and because we're not bringing feed, because we're not feeding them, other than you saw me put some hay out because I wanted to see what it would do, and it was kind of during that cold weather, and I think I put maybe 4 bales out at a period in there, just kind of for the fun of it. But because we kind of force everybody to do it on their own, it's kind of a different beast. And so I made some last minute decisions to have them in a larger pasture, to give them just a little bit more time to maybe get some kids on the ground rather than continuously moving. And it made this one very difficult because the pasture was around 100 acres or so, and it was just an all-day deal. And so you can maybe hear what's going on the next morning. I'm sure we're going to lose some because of this. You know, I think that's part of it, but at the same time, it's, you know, you just don't like losing anything. You just don't like losing anything. But I've looked around here, and I can see, you know, 2 or 3 that didn't make the ride over and the journey over, and we're not out of it yet. And here's what's bad: by the time we kind of get everything settled down, it's going to be time to move to the next one. Now, it's smaller. This is about 30 acres, and I'm on the front side of the pasture where they all congregated trying to get paired back up. And I mean, they need to be moved already. I need to go to the backside and take a look. But you know, it's just gonna, the nannies have got to figure out, and they have got to be able to do it on their own. And that's kind of what I was telling Lisa, World's Greatest, is, you know, when we get numbers, we don't want to be driving around doing a nanny's job. We just don't have time for that, and that's not what they're here for. Hey! Cut that out! Had a heifer got too close to the fence. They don't much like that. That's not what we want to do. We can't do that. We've got too many other things that we have to do also. And so they've got to take a certain amount of what they were created to do, and that's raise a baby on their own shoulders. And then if those don't do that and can't do that, those are the ones that go. Now, because of the issue that we were in this year with respect to the drought and how I kind of had to make some decisions here, it's going to make it a little more difficult on them. So some of them are going to get a pass this year. But you know, that's the only way we know how to do it, and to be able to handle the workload. You know, Lisa, I think, has got 4 up at the house that were already in a state where they were just, you know, they needed help. And so she took them up there, and that's not something that I necessarily, you know how World's Greatest is. She can't drive by one that looks like it's been abandoned or is near death and not take it back and see if she can't nurse it back to health, which is great. I'm glad she's willing to do that, because it definitely, you know, it makes us a little money, but the time that it takes, I don't know that it's worth that. And ultimately it boils down to the nanny has got to take that responsibility. So that is the flock that we want, and that is the flock that we will continue to work towards. Little baby, are you awake? You awake? Can you get up? Can you get up, little baby? There's your mama right there watching. Come on, baby, get up. See, there's this baby's mama right there, and she's watching him, but he's so weak. He just, you know, I'm convinced that the goats are like, come on, mama, come over here and get to licking on him, get his blood going. I'm convinced the goats are like deer. They're all designed to have, oh, come on, baby. Lisa will have this sucker. If she comes down here, she's gonna have this dude picked up and nothing flat. Just lay there and let your mama come. I'm convinced that the goats are like deer, and they have 2, 3, 4 in order to hope that one survives. That's how they reproduce. That's how they were designed to reproduce. Now, that doesn't mean that some won't raise twins and triplets and quads, and some won't raise 0. What you want to try to do is get rid of the ones that raise 0. Okay. So this morning, we pulled everything out of that pasture over there yesterday that we could find. And this morning, I don't even know where they went. There was a nanny in here with 2 babies. And I'm guessing her babies went through there, and she decided she needed to go protect them, which is good. Of course, now she's gone. But then I see 2 or 3 down here that were either some that we missed in the woods, or somehow they figured out how to get back to their babies. And, you know, that's got a certain amount of good to it. So we're just going to pick up the pieces this morning and see if we can't help everything get paired, see if we need to do anything with ones that didn't pair, and go from there. Easy, right? Anybody want to buy any goats? No, I'm just teasing. I love the goats, but I got to be real careful that I don't spend too much time on the goats and neglect the cattle, which that was something that I had to do yesterday. I needed to go move the cattle, and I mean, we didn't get done here until 5, and by the time it was 5, I needed to do the stalker goats. So it was dark by the time I kind of got done with everything. So the cattle are first on the list today. I'm down here just to kind of open this up, because I specifically left this shut right here because I knew that if everything got back in here, they were just going to go on. And I'm hesitant to open it today, but they need to get water. They got to have water. They're going to want to come in here and get water. Okay, well, hopefully this wasn't a big downer. It's good to see all the little babies, and in 3 weeks, it'll just be crazy. They'll be running around and playing, and I'll forget all these times. And so I hope that it was a, you know, the real deal kind of video, and I hope it was a, you know, for whatever reason, maybe somebody saw something that might help them or saw something that might help us. So I do appreciate y'all watching, and so does World's Greatest. So hopefully we'll catch you next time.